Welcome back to the Victimology Report, where I study the victims of crimes and the psychological effects that their traumatic experiences has had on them. Episode 2 will be about Randy Meeks, an excitable horror movie geek as his close friends and family would describe him. Randy was a high school student at Woodsboro High School and would become one of the survivors of the Woodsboro murders in 1996. At school, he primarily hung out with Billy Loomis, Stu Matcher, and Tatum Riley. He was good friends with Sidney Prescott, whom he had a major crush on. The Woodsboro murders would commence with the deaths of two of Randy's classmates, Casey Becker and Stephen Orth. Randy instantly suspects that Stu was the killer, pointing out that Casey recently dumped him. Stu defended himself, stating, "I didn't kill anybody." The following day, Randy went to work at the local video store, where the murders were brought up again with Stu. According to Randy's logic, everybody was a suspect. His suspicion leaned more so towards Billy, and he would accuse him of being the real killer. Billy would appear to confront Randy for his accusations. Stu, of course, would side with Billy. Randy would drop the conversation after seeing the seriousness in Billy's face. Due to the rising fear among the citizens of Woodsboro, law enforcement officials enacted a curfew. Randy used this to his advantage and left work early to attend Stu's party. Upon his arrival, he met with Sidney. The two discussed a movie character, Laurie Strode, from Halloween. Their conversation would abruptly end as Billy arrived. Billy and Sidney would go upstairs to the bedroom to talk, while Randy remained downstairs to watch Halloween with his peers. Randy, being a horror movie enthusiast, would explain the crucial rules to surviving a horror film. You can never have sex. You can never drink or do drugs. The first two rules were considered a sin. The final rule would be to never, ever, under any circumstances, say "I'll be right back," because you won't be right back. Randy wholeheartedly believed that if he applied these infamous rules to his own life, that he would live to tell the tale. Randy is eventually left alone to watch the remainder of the film. Sensing that something is not right, he gets up to look for the others and encounters a terrified Gail Weather. Unsure if Randy is the ghost-faced killer, she knocks him down. Later, he would discover the body of Tatum. After seeing her cadaver, he finds a frightened Sidney. He tells her that they have to get out of here, because he believes Stu killed Tatum. Stu runs up and accuses Randy of being the killer and attempts to convince her to hand him the gun. Sidney, unable to distinguish who's telling the truth, retreats inside the house, locking the door behind. Randy had the chance to leave Sidney behind, but his love for her wouldn't allow him to because he knew the truth about Stu. Inside the home, Billy would reunite with Sidney and persuade her to give him the gun. He opens the door, allowing Randy to run inside. Randy exclaims that Stu has lost it. Billy ignores Randy's statement and points the gun at him. He fires a shot at Randy, striking him in the torso. His body crashes through the table. Sidney would eventually end up killing Billy and assisting an injured Randy. He would survive from his gunshot wound. Randy would credit his survival to the rules he learned from watching horror movies like Halloween and Prom Night. After graduating from Woodsboro High in the summer of 1997, Randy and Sidney would both attend Windsor College, where he took film classes. Despite having a growing love for Sidney, the two of them would remain just friends. Randy would use his college experience as a way to distance himself from what happened back in Woodsboro. Later that year, murders would start to occur at the college. Sidney would try to warn Randy that they could be the targets of another killer. Randy at first dismisses the idea because he doesn't want to relive what happened in Woodsboro. It wouldn't take long before he had to accept the fact that there was a new ghost-faced killer among them. After the murder of another college student, Randy, Dewey, and Gail would try to solve the murder. While attempting to track down the killer on the campus, Randy would talk to the killer on the phone. While speaking with the killer, Randy hurls insults stating that the new killer would never be as famous as Billy and Stu. Distracted by the phone conversation, Ghostface suddenly appears and drags him into a news van where he would be brutally stabbed 4 times. Randy would succumb from his injuries. Randy's killer would later be revealed to be Nancy Loomis, the mother of Billy Loomis. Randy had no relations to Nancy. His only link to the killer was through her deceased son. In an eerie way, Randy knew that he wouldn't survive this time. Perhaps because he knew he had broken a few of the rules that he implemented back in Woodsboro. This would be confirmed by Randy's younger sister Martha. She would sneak a posthumous video recorded by Randy into the Stab 3 production. It was very emotional and surreal for Sydney, Gail, and Dewey as they watched the pre-recorded video of Randy. In the video, Randy would foreshadow his own death and also warn them of a third killing spree. Martha and her 2 kids continued to honor Randy's legacy that he left behind. His likeness would also be depicted in the 2 Stab movies. This has been the Victimology report of Randy Meeks. I hope you've enjoyed episode 2. Please like and share this video and subscribe for more content. Stay safe out there and don't become the next victim.